Hello everyone, and welcome to this 1 p.m. Meet the Designer talk in the auditorium at SL10B. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Nicky of Designing Nicky, who is a fantastic designer of a wide variety of clothes, perhaps best known for her wonderful sumptuous silken evening dresses, but produces other things as well. I've certainly got a business suit of yours, a couple of swimming costumes and various other things as well. So Nicky, welcome to the auditorium. Okay, I think you need to put your mic on.
Couldn't hear me?
Hearing it. No.
Can you hear me now?
Hear you now.
Okay. Okay, is this better?
Yes, that's good.
Yeah, thank you everyone for having me. I hope I don't bore anyone because I've been away for such a long time. The whole reason being is that I have a baby boy and he has taken so much of my time.
Congratulations! Is he your first?
Yes, he's my first, and he's definitely a handful.
How old is he now?
He's at present 18 months old.
Oh, fascinating age.
Yes, fascinating is a word for it. He goes to everything, literally everything. My closet, my wardrobe, my cupboards, even my computers.
Oh dear. Yes, I have enough problems with my cat. I think a baby as well could be quite a challenge. So
yeah.
Let's talk a little about how you first came to Second Life and when you first came.
Oh, geez, that would be years ago. If you see my
Okay, you just broke off.
Yeah, if you see my avatar, it was back in 2006, and that's where I first started. I visited Second Life on a suggestion from my husband, who heard good things about it from his friends. So we decided one night to make an account and log on. And the first week was a bit boring because we just couldn't find our way around. Then we met some nice people at, back then it was called the Black Library. And we had fun chatting and be creative, writing short stories. And I decided to make clothes for my avatar because it was looking a bit dumpy. And when they saw the clothes I made for my avatar, they literally screamed at me and said, "You should sell them." So that's how I got started.
So when I came in early 2007, I found that you had already quite a large store, in fact a couple of stores.
Yeah, it grew pretty fast for me. I guess I was lucky. There were a lot of people who loved my clothes and they weren't shy of telling everyone else about my clothes, and they blogged about it, and it grew from there.
Now, one of the things that's so striking about your clothes is the textures. Can you tell me how you get those wonderful textures?
Well, I create my own textures from scratch. I basically have an idea of the fabric pattern that I like, and I create it by drawing them, and then I would go to Photoshop and polish it up with shading and adding in some 3D feel to the whole fabric. And then from there, I'll use that fabric design to design the gown or the dress or the costume and piece it all together.
Oh, that's interesting. So the texture actually comes before the dress?
Yeah, for me, it's the texture before the dress. Although sometimes in my working on a special projects, for instance, something on vintage or something that is Baroque, then maybe the designs come first. I'll sketch up the gown, and then from there I will take a note of what kind of fabrics I'll need to create the whole look. And then I'll go back to the drawing board and sketch the fabric, and then drew the fabric, and then put it all together for the whole look.
Fantastic. Now, it's not just creating a flat texture, is it? Because your figure-hugging dresses have to look very convincing.
Yes. When I first started designing clothes in SL, I started by first doing a texture for the body of my clothes, basically. So I drew the shadowing, the highlights that I wanted, the folds that I wanted. And I made several templates for myself. And when I designed the clothes, I would fall back to my original templates and use them to guide me to do my shading and my folds and everything. And when I use my fabric, I add on those details to the fabric too.
That's very clever. Because your dresses are very convincing to wear.
Oh, thank you. But with the new mesh that's in the market now, I think it's a different ball game altogether.
I presume that with the baby coming, you probably step back a bit from the mesh revolution.
Yes, with the baby, when I was pregnant, I started to step back, and when he was born, I literally had to give up ever creating in SL for a bit. And now that he's 18 months old, I'm trying to get back again, but it's a bit irregular because he has his own timing.
I can imagine.
Yeah, like today, I figured, okay, he'll be fast asleep by 7:30, no problem, I can have an interview. But today, nope, he's not going to sleep.
Well, you managed to get in, that's the important thing.
Yeah, well, I left him with his daddy. I told the daddy, okay, you take over, I've got an interview.
So when did you decide that you were going to create the styles of clothes you have? What led you to decide to have this predominantly formal gown?
Actually, my mother was a dressmaker, and she had a little boutique. And I grew up surrounded by fabrics and customers coming in and out asking for custom-made gowns for weddings, dinners. So I always grew up, with buttons, sequins, rhinestones, silks, organza, and piecing together all these bits and pieces, making it into a beautiful gown was what my mom did for a living, and I guess it rubbed off on me.
Well, they are beautiful, and yes, as someone who makes clothes myself, I must admit, working with beautiful materials is just gorgeous.
Yes. I can go shopping, and for materials for hours on and end up with bags full of gorgeous fabrics. Never to use them, but because they're gorgeous, I have to have them.
Yeah, I know. There's a shop in London where people go to get clothes for evening dresses and wedding clothes. And it has all these satins and silks. And then it has sort of different lurex and sequin materials.
Yeah.
And just to go there and watch them spread all this out. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. I've got fabrics that is older than me in my home in Singapore. My mom being a dressmaker, she has lots of fabrics from her time, and then fabrics from my time. So I've vintage laces and everything. It's gorgeous, and we can't bring ourselves to throw them away because they're so beautiful. So I've got a whole house full of fabrics that's just there.
That's wonderful. And it's pretty ironic that what you're now creating is virtual.
Yes, virtual, yeah. Yeah.
But I think anyone who sees your gowns must recognise this real love of materials and this real knowledge.
Well, I don't know whether it's real knowledge, but it was basically from growing up around it and watching my mother work hard at it that rubs up on me, I guess. Yeah.
So you're saying your home is in Singapore?
Yes, I am Singaporean.
Yes. But you're now living in
Holland.
Holland.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, well, I got married, and my husband is from Netherlands, and so I flew over and migrated to Netherlands, and I've been here since we got married. Yeah.
Right. Now you do have ties to Marsac here in Second Life, I think.
Marsac?
Temasek.
Oh, Temasek, yes. Yeah, I was approached by the person in charge of Temasek to have a little store there, and I was honored to have it there. I was one of the first Singaporeans to really have a big store in Second Life back then. But I think now there are more and more people coming in, and I can't keep up with all the brands that are in the market now.
Well, that's great. We did a designing workshop with Veritas Raymarker.
Okay, yeah.
And
how was it?
Marsac. He's fine. He's doing really well.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
He's done some great work in Second Life.
Yeah, he's a very nice person.
And he was very pleased to have you on the island.
Yes. Yeah, I must say he's very nice, and I was pretty honored to have my store there. So I try to put a lot of more traditional clothings there that reflects my culture in Singapore.
Yes, it's a fascinating culture.
It can be, but right now it's a terrible haze in Singapore, I hear from my mom. Yes, you can't see anything. It's all covered in haze.
It's been the forest fire, is it?
Yes, every year there's forest fires in Indonesia, and the wind blows in a bad way for us, then it's terrible for us. Yeah, if it starts to shift the wind and rains a bit more, then maybe it will help. But until then, it's going to be bad.
Right, well, let's hope the rains come soon.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
So, do you think that your Singapore culture has influenced your design?
Oh, definitely. Having grown up in a culture where fabrics is so easily accessible from all over the world, I got exposed at a very early age to all kinds of traditional costumes as well, like the beautiful saris, the cheongsam, the kabaya, to name a few. And these costumes use beautiful laces and sequins, and it's breathtaking. So and it does influence my color selection because the colors are so beautiful in the fabric.
Yes. I know that you're also very good at shading. And if I stand up, I can show the audience what I'm talking about.
Well, I have a background in graphic design, and I was an illustrator for many years before coming to SL. So my graphic design skills, my illustration skills, plus my background growing up in a dressmaking boutique all came together in SL.
Isn't it wonderful, when things like that do come together?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
So
I do feel excited for the mesh though. Too bad I don't have time to go into it. If I were to go to mesh now, I need to find a very good mesh developer first.
I think there's quite a lot of very helpful ones around. And I would just love to see what you do with mesh.
Oh, I have all kinds of ideas, but first I need to get my son and day school.
Yes. So how did you find? You said the store grew very rapidly.
Yes.
What sort of methods did you use to promote it? Or was it pretty easy in those days?
Well, in those days, I didn't really have to advertise a lot. I just had a simple blog, maybe 1 or 2 classified ads, and it grew from word of mouth, basically, in those days. And then we didn't have many magazines around in SL then, but now I think there's a flood of magazines, and you have to pick and choose which magazines you advertise in. But back then, not many avenues to do that.
Right. So did you notice many changes from those years?
Oh yes. We had a lot of content theft those years because it was a learning curve. Some people don't know about copyright, so they went off and took the textures without knowing they're not supposed to do it. Some knew but wanted quick fix, and they did it. And there wasn't much avenue for designers to do anything about it. And then I did see some improvement in London Labs helping designers protect their work. There's still a long way more to go. I'm sure there are new ways of, there'll be people who are finding new ways to steal, and there are people finding new ways to take advantage, but there are also new ways of creating. And I think it's growing well. And there is at least a place where the designers can now, have a way of rectifying some stolen things like a DMCA. But although it's not a total fix, it is a small step. And educating the general public is very good, because then, if 5 out of 10 learns about copyright and knows about it, they can make a personal choice of not supporting by selling stolen stuff or buying stolen stuff. And that's already half the battle won.
Yes, I agree. So you've actually taken part in some of the campaigns against copyright theft.
Yeah, in the early days, because we felt that people needed to be educated about it, and it becomes a personal choice for people now to decide whether they want to let this continue or they want to help stop this and give more avenues for people to be more creative, because it's not healthy for the creative environment if it goes rampant like that.
Something else that I've seen you make quite a lot of use of is the marketplace. You have a lot of good designs on the marketplace.
Yeah, I find marketplace useful because, one thing, my store is very huge. And it's a bit difficult to find what you want if you're looking for a particular item. So marketplace, you can do a search, and it's easier for you to find the items, and the customer doesn't need to teleport to my store in order to get anything in an emergency. And I find that marketplace helps a lot. Yeah.
Did you ever have sort of outlier stores, little stores, satellite stores?
Yes, I had a lot of little satellite stores in the beginning, mainly in clubs and one or two maybe scenic islands, themed islands. But I had to cut back on all that because it was a bit too much for me to handle for one person. And I would now concentrate on just my main store.
And the marketplace as well.
And the marketplace. I think these are the two main things I need to concentrate on because my time is very limited now when I come into SL, and I can't be divided with so many stores. So I just kept one or two satellite stores, and that's about it.
Right. Well, it's understandable when you've got such a very busy real life.
Yes, yeah. I should name a brand after my son when I come back to SL.
Well, the family role play market is absolutely huge.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. You could certainly design a range of children's clothes.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
It would be a great change, but
well, people have been telling me to design a male range of clothing, and you should see that my husband's avatar in SL. He still looks like a newbie, and he's been here at the same time as I am, since 2006.
That's actually quite common for men.
Yes, yeah. So people tell me, hey, dress your husband up, design something for him, And I try. I did a lot Darcy collection and all that, but he still likes his newbie look. So okay.
Yes, there's next door, almost next door to here. There's an exhibition called Now and Then.
Okay.
You take a picture of yourself then. And a picture of yourself now.
Together. If you look at one of my oldest vendor around, you can see the picture of myself then.
Well, for your poster today, I took your picture from your profile.
Oh, okay.
So that's quite recent. Okay, are you still here?
Did you lose me?
We lost you briefly.
Oh, sorry. I'm back now. No, I'm just saying that my profile picture is more recent. Yes.
Great. So I was going to say, shall we make some time for people in the audience to ask questions?
Sure. I'll try to answer them as best I can.
Okay. So does anyone have any questions for Nicky?
Okay, mesh. Well, mesh has been difficult for me because I haven't had time to go into mesh at all. To develop mesh on your own, you actually have to have a good basic knowledge of 3D work, and you have to know the software program. The cheapest program around is free, that's Blender, but the learning curve for Blender is pretty steep. And the expensive way, of course, is Maya. And I don't think I want to invest in Maya, and I don't know how good I'll be in Mesh. I tried Blender, but when I started with Blender, I got pregnant, And that was it. I couldn't sit in front of the computer. When I sat in front of the computer, my baby would kick violently. So that was out for me. And since it's born, I haven't been able to do anything with mesh. But I've seen some mesh around, and some are good and some need some improvement. I wish I could go into it. I really ache to do something with it, but I can't at the moment.
Cinders has made a good point. That Builders Brewery have been holding some blender classes. And someone using mesh for making clothing.
Yes, I hear a lot. There are a lot of free lessons around. Even online you can find some tutorials. But to do mesh for SL using Blender, you still need to have a bit more knowledge about rigging and about the intricacy of wrapping the textures and all that. So from building it to texturing it to making it, it takes a long process before the whole design is complete. So from what I know from various designers is that majority of them team up with a mesh developer, and they concentrate on the texture. So there are two people working on that one design. One is doing the 3D model, and one is actually concentrating on making that fabric look great on the model.
I think that's a really clever idea. Because they are two very different skills.
Yeah, two very different skills. Not many people can do both skills well. And to do both skills well, you really have to spend a lot of time doing it. I wish I could, but not with my son at the moment, no. I will still concentrate on my texture. And if I want to go to mesh, I would look to work with someone who's really good in mesh and doesn't want to do texturing.
I'm sure there's quite a few people like that who are very happy to work with you.
Oh, that'd be great. But I have to be fair to that person too, because at the moment I'm not in SL that often, so my production skills is slower, and until when I can commit more time to SL, I would seriously look into partnering with someone with mesh. Yeah.
Well, I hope that works out, because that would be fantastic. I know that a lot of people would love to get their hands on your gowns in mesh. I'm sure most of the audience here.
Thanks, Cinders, for your confidence that I would fly once I get into it. Yeah, you have the same confidence as my husband, but we'll see.
The other thing that occurs is that there are mesh templates on the marketplace, and it might be a good place to start with experimenting with textures. Even if you didn't sell them.
I've actually bought some of the templates to look into them, and I did try experimenting with them. But when you are doing it, you suddenly realize, there's certain little details, certain little folds, certain little items that you just want to change, and and you can't. Yeah. So I bought some, and it's still in my inventory, and I've not sold any because I'm just using it to study and to learn.
Of course,
I'm not satisfied. As long as I'm not 100% satisfied with the complete project or the complete outfit, I'm not even giving it away.
No, I can appreciate that. I think there's just so many of the simple styles that one can have in one's wardrobe. So yes, much better to wait till you've got something really special that says Nicky Ree all over it.
Yeah, Cinders, correct. There's a lot of head banging along the way. I already started banging my head a bit when I started with Blender. Not to mention ZBrush.
I can believe it. We're actually running a series of articles in Print Perfect magazine on how to build with mesh.
Oh, that'd be great.
Articles.
Oh, good.
So do have a look. They are actually geared at building furniture rather than clothes.
Well, you have to start somewhere.
Perfect.
You have to start somewhere. And if you learn the basics, the principles are the same. How do you wrap the texture around it too?
Exactly. Well, if you want to start looking at Print Perfect magazines from the beginning of the year, I think you'll find some useful articles. And I'm going to completely blow my own trumpet on this one. And put the address of the magazines in chat.
That's fine. I'm sure a lot of people want the link. I want the link too.
Give me just a minute. Talk among yourselves. There is an echo. We're getting a bit of feedback from Nicky, I think. You're using speakers rather than a headset set, are you?
Yeah, because I'm on Mac and my headphone doesn't work on my Mac. I have to use the inbuilt speaker.
Right. Oh, Drusilla Dubert has just shouted that she's wearing a Nicky wreath that I performed in earlier.
Oh, great. Thanks, Drusilla.
So, still worn on the concert stage.
Yay!
Okay. Avagine has just asked, Nicky, how long on average does it take you to take a design from idea to completion?
Okay, on average, it takes about 4 to 5 working days. 1 day to do the thinking and the sketching. The second day to actually work on the fabric. It might take between 1 to 2 days to finish the fabric. And then the third and fourth day is to, work it in SL with the gowns and the prints and everything. So it takes about 4 to 5 days, yeah. And me being a nitpicker, I would load up the texture here, build everything, then take a look at my avatar and decide, nah, back to the drawing board.
How easy is it, or do you really have to sort of treat them almost as two separate gowns when you're changing the colours of a texture?
Actually, the colors is not a problem for me. Once the first design is done, creating the colors for the other sets, it's a matter of going to Photoshop and doing my filters and my color variations.
One thing I've always liked about your gowns is that when you buy them, you very often get a considerable range of styles in a single packet.
Yeah, well, the reason why you get all the considerable styles is because while I'm building the gown, designing the gown, I will sketch the other forms how it looks, and I kind of like it. And I think if I like it, my customers will like it. So I just put it all in.
People are saying that that's true. That's something they love about buying your gowns, that you get a nice variety of choices. One of the best things about buying a Nicky gown.
Well, the thing is, it's not too much of a trouble to create the various styles because it's all digital. It's not like real life where if you want various options and various style, that's like a whole new gown altogether. In Second Life, if you have your system item done correctly, it's just a matter of changing the prints to give you a different look.
And that works very effectively. So, does anyone have any more questions for Nicky?
I think they're all sleeping.
Cinder's asked, are you prepared for when your son is a teenager?
Actually, no. I'm totally enjoying having a toddler now. I enjoyed having a newborn, and now I'm enjoying having a toddler. And I won't change him for a bit. I'm totally in love with my baby boy.
Well, it sounds that you're having terrific fun with him. I just hope when he goes to day school we can get you back here.
Yeah, me too. I need to get back to creating stuff. I miss painting, drawing, creating things. So that part of my life I want back.
I can appreciate that. So, do you have any plans for when you return? Are you going to sort of work towards a new Nicky Ree collection that's going to make us all gasp?
Well, there are a lot of plans in the drawing board at the moment. Sketches, different marketing approach, different skill sets. A lot of it's on a drawing board, so to speak. And I hope I can manage to pull it through, but it will take time.
Well, you can see from the comments we've been getting from the audience that people are waiting for you whenever you come back.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for your confidence, Cinders. Yeah. But I basically have been drooling over a lot of new stuff that I've seen in 3D environments, and I wish there were like 4 or 5 of me, because that will take about 4 or 5 of me to do the kind of work I want.
I must say, one of the things I've loved about mesh evening dresses is being able to have a corset. It might sound completely mad, but to have a sort of hourglass shape without needing to change my shape.
But I understand from mesh that the body shape is fixed, like extra large, large, medium, and small at the moment, because you can't stretch it like the way you do with the normal system clothing.
That's right.
Yeah, so we are kind of have to basically work towards those 4 or 5 sizes given to us.
Or to wait for the mesh deformer. And by the time you get back, we may have the mesh deformer.
Maybe.
Yeah, the mesh deformer is going to be a wonderful device because it actually adapts to the shape of the mesh avatar.
Oh, that would definitely change the fashion scene here if that happens.
I think it would be wonderful. We've been begging Linden Lab to give it us for ages, but it's not easy.
You might also have to buy a new computer to run it. I mean, they can give it to you, but it also depends on the hardware that you have and the software that you can run it on.
That's true. I just got a new computer that shows me shadows, and my life is so much nicer, prettier.
Yeah, so it's a pro and con thing. I think Linden Lab is holding back a bit also partly due to the fact that you need really high-end hardware to order to run that.
That's right.
So until it's affordable and more people have them, maybe, yeah.
Yes, that's very true. Okay, so does anyone have any final questions for Nicky? Just thank you for making such wonderful